Hello, Jessica Yorbricks here, back with another very exciting review. And today's review is of set number 21108, and it's called LEGO Ghostbusters because it's basically LEGO Ghostbusters. You could also call it the LEGO Ghostbusters Ecto-1, but it is part of the LEGO Ideas line, and it has 4 minifigures, 508 pieces, and it's recommended for just 10 and up, and it retails for $50 in the United States. Let's take a look at the packaging. Alright, so here's a box for this set. It looks awesome. This is even better than the Back to the Future box. Oh my gosh, this looks phenomenal. You can see the background. They just went all out on this box. The top right there shows the minifigures, and you can just see the black design is really awesome. The side, they show some logos and stuff for the LEGO Ideas theme. And on the back, they show, like, not really any play features of the set, but what's inside the set and stuff like that, and who you're going to call. Oh, it just looks amazing. Then wait until you see the instruction booklet. Alright, so here's the instruction booklet, and it's really worth showing. Holy crap. They use the architecture kind of a material, which works really well, and they use the same thing with the Back to the Future Time Machine set. You can see the side right there. Inside, they have this whole introduction. And you can even see some pictures from the movie itself. And they have it in multiple languages, so that's why it takes a lot of pages and stuff like that. But you can see they have throughout the book, they use these little quotes from the film, which I thought was a really nice touch. I wish they would have done that with Back to the Future. So that's really awesome. And in the back, they have a little introduction to the people who designed the set. You got Marcos Bessa, who commented on one of my videos, which was really awesome. And Adam Corbally, which are from LEGO. And Brent Waller, who kind of submitted the set to Cuusoo. He has an amazing review of the set. It's probably better than my review will ever be, because his review is basically of his set, and which he designed. So you got to check that out. I'll put a link in the description. And even on the back, they have a little advertisement for Cuusoo, but really LEGO Ideas. You can see it still says Cuusoo, but they basically say it's LEGO Ideas. So that's really awesome. And in the back, they still have the Wind Kid, which is kind of disappointing. But now, on to the minifigures. Alright, so here are the 4 minifigures in the set. First, I'll show them the front prints and then their proton packs. And then, after that, I'll cut and show their back printing. And before I go on to the minifigures, I just wanted to show that there are 3 accessories with the minifigures that I didn't want to put on, because you can see they get a little bit damaged like that. There's 2 walkie-talkies, absolutely identical in that black color. Very common piece. And there's also this little ghost detector right here, which I think is kind of funny. And it's a very simple build. They use this little hinge piece right here, the yellow grill piece, and this little fork piece right here. That's really cool. But going on to the minifigures themselves, you can see there's this minifigure stand that's included in the set. That is awesome. I love how they included a minifigure stand in the set. Really goes on to make this set just an awesome set, because it's just the little things like this that make this set so cool. One of my favorite sets of the year. You can see they have the little curved slope piece that's found throughout the set. There's actually 3 other instances where this is found with the Ghostbusters logo on it. Then they have this black and yellow design on this little plate right here. And then they go onto the top, which uses some tiles and some jumper pieces to hold the minifigures. The minifigures will be on there just like perfectly. They're really stable and they're stuck on there. And so that's really cool. And so yeah, that's really it for the stand. But now onto the minifigures themselves. First, we'll start with Ray Stantz. And Ray Stantz has this kind of cheerful, chipper look on the front. And he has Mutt Williams hair right down to the hair color. And on the back, he has this little proton pack right here, which is found identically on all of the minifigures. So, you know, don't really get them mixed up because they're all kind of the same. And they use this printed piece on the back, which looks awesome. It's a little bumper piece that has this printing on it. So that's really cool because that printing is exclusive to the set. They also use this whip piece in black, which is exclusive to the set. And you can see it's connected to this little shooting part right here, which uses a burgundy stud with a hole in it, which the stud with the hole in it piece is getting really prominent in the summer of this year, or even in the beginning of this year too. And you would want to put the little shooter onto the minifigure hand like that. And you can see it fits on perfectly. And this is the same with all 3 of the other minifigures, and of course this minifigure, which makes 4. So that's really cool. It's a shame there's no leg printing, but I don't really mind any, and it's a shame that there's no side arm printing. But there's a site that actually sells the Ghostbusters logo on the side arms, which is actually really cool. And if you want to take off the proton pack, it's really hard to take off because it's kind of a pain for some reason, but that also means it's really sturdy. So basically how it's connected is there's this little neck piece right here, but if you want to take it off, there you go. There's this little piece right here, and you basically have to pull it off from the little neck piece, which may seem like an easy feat, but it's actually really kind of complex, and I hurt my hands doing this. But you can see the inside of the proton pack, there's this little grill right here in black little double cheese slope. So that's really cool. Snaps on easily back on like that. And like I said, the proton pack is the same for all the other minifigures, so I won't take a look at each of them individually, proton packs wise. But next up is Egon Splink, blah, 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 blah. Okay. I can never pronounce it. It's Egon Spankter. That's it. That's the best I could go. And I could never pronounce it, even as a kid. But Egon, which I love his first name, Egon. And of course, rest in peace, Harold Ramis. He has this front torso printing. And you can see it's also exclusive to this minifigure because all 4 of the Ghostbusters have exclusive torso printing to each individual one. And he has his name ES right there. And his front face print has his really kind of iconic, and I hate saying that word, glasses, which are really detailed because they even have a little bit of a haze to them, which is how they look in the movie. And that's always how I knew who Egon was, because he's always the one with the glasses, which are really kind of big, goofy glasses, and I love that. He has this nice little mechanic hairpiece in that dark brown color, which I believe is exclusive to the set. So that's really awesome. And that's it for that minifigure. Of course, he has the proton pack, and I'll take a look at the back printing later on in the video. And here is Peter Venkman. And Peter Venkman has a really kind of cool torso printing right there, because all 4 of these have really cool torso printings because each one's exclusive to their character. And he also has some nice front facial printing where he has kind of a calm and collected face, and he uses that Widow's Peak hairpiece in brown, which I believe is also exclusive to the set in that light brown color. And of course, like with all the other minifigures, he has the proton pack. And the last up is Winston Zeddemore, and Winston Zeddemore is the only black minifigure of this set because he's the only black character in the of the Ghostbusters. And he is really cool too because he has a different torso print from all the other ones besides this little name piece, because he also has a different kind of chest right there because it's in his skin color. So that's really awesome. And you can see his face right there. He has a little mustache, and he has kind of a confident look too. And they use this little slick hair, which doesn't fit him completely, as Peter Venkman's doesn't really fit his hair that's seen in the movie either. That's the best they could do with making it kind of a different hairpiece from any of the others and making it look a little bit accurate to the movie. So I like how they did that either way, because, they can't make any new molds or anything like that. And that's really it for the minifigure. Like I said, all these have the proton pack right there. So that's it, and now onto the back of the minifigures. Alright, so here are the Ghostbusters without their proton packs. You can see their back printing finally now, and like I said, all of them have their names on the back. You can see right there, Ray, Egon, Peter, and Winston. And just a look at their back facial prints. You can see Ray's right there. He's kind of shocked, and it's a really funny print because his mouth is a little bit more down than how other minifigure mouths are. So it's really kind of over-exaggerated, I think. And it reminds me a little bit of Doc Brown's facial printing. And Egon's right there. He's really kind of distressed, and you can see he's showing his teeth. So that's really nice. Peter's right here. He has his mouth open, and he's also showing his teeth, but he also has his tongue showing. So that's really cool. Then Winston's right here. He's kind of, he looks like he's a little bit angry, but also scared too, because he's just showing his teeth in a kind of grinning way. So that's really cool. They have really cartoony faces, but it kind of matches their characters in the movie, because, they're really humorous characters. So that's really well done. And now on to the build itself. And here is the Ecto-1 itself, and you can see how detailed this build is. I absolutely love this build. Let's get into all the details. On the side right here, you can see you're first greeted with this little printed Ghostbusters sign, which is on a little slope right here. That's the same one that was found on the stand, and the same one that's found in 2 other instances in the set, because you got one on the back and then one right here, besides the stand and this part right here. You can also see that on this side only, there's really this little tube right here, which is a very nice detail. And that's not like clipped into place or anything like that on the top, even though it's clipped in from the bottom parts right here. But what you're supposed to do is push it into there. And there's a little bit of space right there. And that's just really it. It fits perfectly there. It doesn't fall out or anything like that unless you deliberately like kind of pull it out. And I love how they made that piece, and it's kind of this rubbery piece with a blue look to it, and that's actually really cool. I haven't seen that piece before, but I don't think it's an exclusive piece. But still, it's nice to get. And on the top, we'll take a better look at the roof later. But you can see just from the side right here, there's more of that yellow and black design. And some little gadgets and stuff like that, and tubes and sticks and stuff, which really kind of match the look in the movie where it's really kind of messy on the roof. And on the back, you can see they have a little Ecto-1 license plate that says Ecto-1 New York. And they have the Ghostbusters logo again. And you can see they use a lot of pieces in this set use this kind of silver color, which is like metallic silver. And they use it for these little studs right here and these little cheese slopes on the back right there. So that's cool, and you get a lot of those in this set in that color. Then on the side right here, this side's a little bit different because while this part right here is the same, they have this little ladder part, and the side right here has this kind of green design instead of the black and yellow design with a few different pieces, like these little tile studs right here in that lime green color, which is exclusive to this set so far, which is really cool. And they have this little, like I said, the ladder right here, which you could actually raise, but really it looks best like this because that's how it looks kind of in the movie. Then on the front, you can see they have the little spoiler and it says Ecto-1 New York on a license plate, another really printed piece, identical as the one on the back. And they also have these little tube pieces right here in this silver color, which is really cool because you can make that like a soda can or aluminum can or whatnot. And on the front, you can see the screen right here, which looks really awesome. And also they include these little windshield wipers, which I think is actually a really cute little addition to the set. And you can actually move those up and down, but don't play around with them too much or they'll fall off like I just showed right there. But those just look best when they're closed down like that, because if you put them up, they're kind of far away from the screen. But still, those look really nice. Then going back to the side, because I want to go to the roof, and you can see all the little gizmos and gadgets and wires and stuff like that on the roof. Very detailed, probably the most detailed part of the set. It's very intricate, but it's extremely sturdy, so none of the pieces really fall off, except sometimes some of the side pieces if you accidentally touch it too hard or whatnot. But you can see on the top, they have these little cheese slopes in that trans blue color. They have these little grill pieces, that I call them, in the silver color. And you can see more of that ladder and these little side details right here. And so that's really cool. That's the back right there side. They also have this little radar right here. And the front, they have these little lights, which are intentionally, you know, different colors. Like they have trans clear color right there, and then they have trans red. And this is the part where I said that kept on falling off, because sometimes if you push it too hard, it'll fall off like that. But that doesn't happen too much. Just gotta make sure it's put on really well. That's cool, and then here's the inside of the roof. And then looking at the inside of the car itself, it looks really cool, but really kind of simplistic, which I like. Only thing is you cannot fit 4 minifigures, unless you lay one down, which I don't know why you would do that. But you could kind of seat them in like this. You just gotta take off their proton packs. So you can see that's one minifigure right there with Winston. Then you can fit another, taking off the proton pack right here. Then you can fit one more sitting right on the back right here. And like I said, if you really want to fit a 4th minifigure, you'll have to lay them down. So sorry, Egon. Rest in peace, Harold Ramis, but you're going to have to be laid down on the back right here. And there you go. That's how you fit 4. But really, if you want to have 3, you have to have 3 sitting down like that. But if you do want to lay one down, like I said, it fits really well, even with the roof on. And you can see them a little bit through the windows, and that's actually a really cool look. And the roof fits on just well. And one thing I want to point out is how this detail right here works with the side windows. Because if you see, these are a little bit slanted, and how they did that was a really cool slot design where they put these little bracket pieces right here and they kind of built the windows so that they're kind of built on the side like that. And you could kind of raise them a little bit, but I don't know why you'd like to do that. You kind of just want to put them slanted like that, and that looks really, really awesome. So that's really it for the vehicle. Just a little bit of smaller other details. They have these little white pieces, which are the minifigures series 2 white pieces in that silver color that's found throughout the set. Those are exclusive to the set. On the bottom, you can see how the wheels work. They actually have this little Technic pin in the middle, which I don't see with too many wheel sets, but it moves very, very well. And there's all these little bumper pieces on the bottom too. So overall, just a really nice car. You can see the front right there, side, front or back, and then side, then the inside. So that's really it for the build itself, and now on to final verdict. Wow, this is a perfect LEGO set. And man, this summer is filled with so many awesome LEGO sets, like LEGO minifigures, the Simpsons series, the Spaceship set, Emma's Constructo-Mech, the Star Wars Cantina. But this is just amazing. It's probably the second best or third best set of the year. I don't even know, maybe even the best. I have to get Spaceship, and I'm going to rank it because I already know my top 3, of course not including LEGO Simpsons minifigure series, because I guess that can't really count as a set, are the Simpsons house, this set, and then Spaceship. But I really gotta get Spaceship. We're getting past that. Just the design of the Ecto-1, the main part of the set, of course, the actual build, is phenomenal. Just look at that. It looks amazing. They went out of their way to make exclusive printed pieces, like how you get 4 of these little Ghostbusters signs on these slopes right here in the set, and also how they printed on the license plate. They also just went out of their way to make it really accurate to the film. I love how they made this roof with this little pipe piece right here. That works much better than the pipe or the tube piece that was found in the DeLorean, because that one kept on falling off. But this one works just fine, even though it was a little bit of a pain to put on. I just love how they nailed this. They even had the little windshield wipers on the front, which is just awesome. I love the white color of the whole thing, and they even went out of their way to include some exclusive colored pieces, like these little roof pieces right here in this white color. This little minifigure plate, which you guys can't see, in a gray color, which only comes in one other set, which is the AT-AT from this year. And some other pieces, like the tile set, as I call them, in that lime color, and a lot of other kind of rare white pieces. So I absolutely adore that. But getting past the pieces, the inside is also really phenomenal too. There's not any seats or anything like that, but I don't really mind that because, you know, seats wouldn't fit. And like I said, you can only fit 3 minifigures, but that's alright, I don't mind. It's very simple on the inside, but it does its job just well. And looking at the outside is just so detailed. You can see just that roof all alone. There's so many little parts going on that makes it so accurate to the film. It's super sturdy, unlike the Back to the Future Time Machine, because even that had some sturdy, or some really flimsy pieces all around. I just love this vehicle, and I'm not even like a fan of cars. And the minifigures, holy cajoli, the minifigures are amazing. All of them have exclusive torso printings for each individual minifigure. All of them have exclusive face prints for each individual minifigures, and some of them have exclusive hair coloring, which is awesome. And they even went out of their way to include a stand in the set. That's just awesome. I love the stand, it works just fine. And the presentation, getting past the stand, the instruction booklet is an awesome thing. And the box just looks phenomenal. So all these things add up, and it really is a perfect value for $50. It's 508 pieces. I don't feel like I'm ripped off whatsoever in any way. I think it's perfectly worth $50 just for the amount of detail they put in, the amount of rare pieces, and stuff like that. So I really recommend this set. It's an A+ for me. Definitely go out and buy it. If you're any kind of LEGO fan, if you're a fan of pieces, if you're a fan of parting out sets, if you're a fan of, I don't even know, castle sets, because you could use their hair pieces and their white pieces. Oh my gosh, it's just awesome. Definitely get this set. It's like the Spaceship set. You gotta get it. It's playing on nostalgia, but it just is almost perfect. I'm speaking for the Spaceship set, because I know the Spaceship set has stickers, so I don't know. I have to see. Maybe once I build that, I'm going to think that it's really perfect. But I know this one's perfect, because there's no stickers, and it really has your bang for your buck. So that's really it for this set, and I will see you guys later. Bye.